Okay, welcome everyone. This is Jay Elwood with Golden Liberty 2, our second broadcast. And we are going live. Right now I'm not showing any viewers, but that's okay because many of you will watch it later on YouTube. Anyway, what we are doing today is we're talking about a special topic, and that is why you don't want to either be an employee or be a business owner that is owned by your business. So let me talk about our main mission here, which is to spread real knowledge, real wealth, and teach people how to earn. We want you to learn to earn real income. And I'm going to tell you why I don't want to be an employee, and you don't either. And even if you're not technically an employee, a lot of you watching out there own your own business. However, even as a business owner, some of you are actually owned by your business. Basically, you bought your own job in some way or another. How do you know if you bought your own job? Look at your income. If for whatever reason you stop working, your income stops coming in, it means you don't really own a business, you own a job. And we'll talk a little bit more about that either later today and in subsequent broadcasts. So, of course, like a lot of people, I started off in the employee world. And I went to work, and I did what I was told, and I worked very hard, and I was what I would call a very good worker bee. And so what happened was I just dreamed of becoming the boss. Boy, I would be in charge. I would tell the other worker bees what to do. Oh, I would have really made it. I would be in nirvana. So finally, after being a very good worker bee for a while, I eventually became the boss. I had the title of supervisor. And I thought, boy, now I'm at the top of the worker bee world. Turned out it's not really that way. Because what comes along with being the boss? You still got to drag yourself to work each day. And like all employees or people who are owned by their job, you don't control your time, you don't control your money, you don't control your life. It's all being controlled for you. And when I became a boss, something I found out was different was I no longer was an hourly employee. I didn't get paid for working by the hour. I got something magical called a salary. I made the same amount of money whether I worked 30 hours each week or 100 hours each week. And guess what? There were bosses above me. They called themselves managers. And the manager looked at me and thought, well, he gets paid the same whether he works 30 hours a week or 100 hours a week. So guess what the manager wants? The manager wants you to work 100 hours a week. Gee, now you control even less of your own time. And when you work it out on an hourly basis, you're making less money per hour than the so-called employees are. So, what happened was I ended up working all the time. Oh, but I did get to be the boss of the worker bees. So I thought, oh boy, I'm going to have only the top employees. And I'm not going to have to deal with any knuckleheads. Well, guess what? Some of the people I used to work with as employees, yes, they were, I guess, for what you'd call, for lack of a better term, knuckleheads. And I thought, okay, I'll just fire them. But then I find out there's human resources. And there's the manager. And maybe the employee is related to one of the other managers. I don't know, a brother-in-law or something. And then, even then, and they really screw up, and then all of a sudden you find out there's like state regulations, federal regulations, documentation that has to be done, OSHA laws, FLSA laws, and you can't really get rid of them anyway, and you end up doing extra work to cover now because you're responsible for these knuckleheads. Wasn't the golden dream I thought it would be. So I started looking for who's really the boss of the organization? And I eventually figured out that the person who's the boss of most companies, at least the large ones, is whoever owns the most shares of stock in a company. Guess what? If you own a lot of shares of stock in the company, or even any, you get paid by that company whether you ever show up there or not. The money just rolls in. And you don't have to put up with the employees. And you don't get woken up in the middle of the night because something's not working right. You just own the stock and you make money. I just got a check in the mail, not really in the mail, but electronically. I got a wire transfer the other day from a company. Their initials are FRD. It's Friedman Industries. Don't recommend buying them. I'm not here to recommend buying individual stocks. I'm here to recommend teaching you how to make business investments. As far as I know, Friedman Industries has something to do with steel. I believe they make some type of steel pipes. Some of you out there probably know more about it than I do. Guess what? I don't know how to make steel pipes. I'm not quite sure how Friedman Industries makes steel pipes. Pretty sure they make something with steel. But I get a check from them anyway. Think about that for a second. Who's the real boss? The person who's the head of all the worker bees? Or the person who gets a check from a company? Or wire transfers, how it's done in the modern days? The person who gets the wire transfer even though they're asleep, or they're on vacation, or they don't even know what the company does or how to do what needs to be done for the company. I'd say that whoever gets the money, even though they're not doing the work, is probably more the boss. And if some knucklehead screws up Friedman Industries, I just sell my stock in the company. I can do it just about any hour of any day. And so I don't have to worry about firing them or talking to them or OSHA laws or FLSA or any of this stuff. Boom, the stock's gone. So you want to get to that position. You want to get to the position where you are making money from businesses, investments, business-type ventures, where you don't even have to know what they're doing, and they send you a wire transfer. Doesn't that sound like a better position to be in than, say, being a manager over 200 people and working 100 hours a week? For me, it sure does. Figured out that the person who owns the most stock of any company is the real boss of that company. They usually get to sit on something called the board of directors, which means they show up to work, sometimes just by phone, often not, maybe once a year, maybe 4 times a year, and they get regular payments, whether they do any work for that company or not. So I think that's the big why. Why do you want to buy stocks in companies and other investments rather than work for those companies? That's because, like me, you want to be the real boss. So I just want to leave you with a couple things. First is my websites. Let's see if I can get this to show here. Still working on this technical stuff. And number one is www.employfriend.com. And the other is www.goldenliberty.swissgoldglobal.com. Let me get it straight here. There it goes. And the other thing is I want to leave you with the golden rule, which is he who has the gold